ESG investing is it's an interesting topic because the term actually means a lot of things to a lot of people. But in a nutshell, what it is it's a framework for using data in order to actually identify risks within public equity investments, and then to build or construct portfolios in such a way that those risks are mitigated. So, what does that actually mean? That's sounds interesting, but the basic idea behind ESG is that there is a lot of data which is now publicly available, and it tends to reflect off balance sheet behaviors of public companies. They are mostly voluntarily disclosing this data, in some cases out of enlightened self interest, but basically activist shareholders are interested in everything from board diversity to CEO to average worker compensation ratios to a whole lot of other data points. In fact, on Bloomberg, there's something like 400 different data points which are either environmental in nature or relate to how a business interacts with its own community, which is the social and ESG, and the third is governance. And so ESG really stands for just three words. It's not a sentence, it's not anything, it's just three individual words. But underneath those words are a series of corporate behaviors that can actually be parsed apart to determine which ones are material. So by that, an example of that would be, I don't particularly care what the water usage is in a bank or an insurance company. It's not a material risk factor in my view. However, it could be, it certainly is a material risk factor in a beverage company or a utility. Utilities use massive amounts of water, or a materials or an energy company. So it's really understanding risks and then parsing them apart in order to determine materiality, and then in conjunction with other parts of portfolio construction, incorporating that data in so that at the end of the day, the client gets two things. One is they get alignment with sustainable or ESG values, if they happen to care about that. But the second thing they get is a risk managed portfolio, because essentially, in addition to looking at typical fundamental financial risks, we're also looking at these off balance sheet sort of, I guess I would describe them as existential, potentially existential risks to the health of the business and an investment portfolio.